This is a presentation on preparing complex performance. Complex procurement is one can be defined as the procurement where the specification is difficult to define and the procurement is a high risk. The competition is restricted to a limited market and the contract will be based on unusual commercial modules. Complex procurement involves many stakeholders, several phases, numerous requirements, many documentations, and substantial amount of time, cost, effort, and risk. Examples of complex procurements in Uganda include the Bujagali Dam project, Karuma, Entebbe, Kampala Entebbe Express Highway, the East African Standard Railway, among others. In relation to the articles, we identified the following complexities. One, complex procurements involved multiple stakeholders. Therefore, it's a complexity because the procurement entity has to align with all the stakeholders' needs and want to achieve their objectives. Dealing with these stakeholders is a complexity as each and everyone have differing interests in the project. For example, in the case of Bujagali power project where there's so many stakeholders had all their different interests in the project, therefore affecting the government program to be implemented.
In summary, another point is complex financing options. On the other hand, another scholar or one percentage of complex procurement are basically financed through resources for infrastructure and resource finance infrastructure usually involve Chinese financial institutions. So further mentioned that although the advantage is to borrowing from those projects, financial arrangements, there are also various issues and governance challenges. Furthermore, these financing methods are viewed negatively by some stakeholders that they lack transparency, create unstable debts, promote Chinese interest over borrowing countries, increase unemployment, and fair compete with business and have poor working conditions. Also, high transaction costs of procurement stock projects. Another element of complexity in procurement is high transaction costs as revealed by concern. For example, in the case of the dam, roads, and rails, where indigenous people are supposed to be compensated and relocated to another area before the project can start off. The cost of relocation and compensations sometimes becomes so high that it leads to delay in project kickoff, even government abandoning the projects. The case in point is the Bujagali Dam project that indigenous people wanted compensation for ecological system as well as traditional board, which practically was difficult on the government side, and thus it caused remarkable delays in the starting the project until other strategies were devised.
The other complexity is the financial vis-a-vis the supplier complexity. As noted by O1T, oftentimes the financial is the supplier. This brings more complexity to the projects. The article asserts that most infrastructure in developing countries is financed through resources for infrastructure, what we call the R4I, and resource financed infrastructure usually involving Chinese financial institutions and Chinese construction companies. In Uganda, for example, expectations around future revenue from oil extractions have led to many infrastructure projects being commissioned mostly by RFI arrangements. However, the majority of stakeholders view the RFI or RFI arrangement as lacking transparency, leading to unstable debt burden, promoting China's interest in Uganda, increase in unemployment, and unfair competition with local businesses, among others. Uh, so when it comes to strategies to address the complexities, the first one we want to highlight here is the stakeholder engagement and involvement. Engagement of private sector, social actors like religious and community leaders to act as intermediaries between government and the people. Government communication is critical. However, it requires partnership with social actors to develop trust that is necessary for uptake of government complex projects like vaccination as an example. Additionally, there is need to use communication strategy that helps people uh, get the message quicker and the impact, for example, through the use of skits, audio visual messages, and among others.
Another strategy to another strategy to this to manage complexities is um, use of competitive dialogue and competitive procedure with negotiation. Dialogue refers to discussion between the members, between the department and the bidder to discuss any aspect of the procurement, e.g. the service requirements or proposed solution. Negotiation is the discussion between the department and the bidder with a view of improving the content of tenders, e.g. performance issues. Another point to manage the complexities is conducting needs assessment. According to Kimbawagi Modra KA, it is necessary to conduct a needs and options study the illustrating and evaluating all expected projects, project costs, benefits, and associated services. Survey can be employed to exploit project benefits and offset the consideration of basic assessment elements, including legal compliance with both local and national laws of the country, human and property rights, appreciating ownership and use of rights and policies for land, natural resources, benefit sharing, guided by the equality, transparency, and democracy. Livelihood sustainability through establishing frameworks involving economic strengthening, poverty reduction, so as ecosystems, so that improve community livelihoods, environmental conservation, focus.
My name is Aboba Jeremy in Group 4, and I'm presenting another point. Another point is policy intervention to ensure sustainability. Chimbogi Morad KA proposed possible policy interventions along the project's lifetime to ensure its sustainability. Develop sustainable strategies to minimize the socio-economic and environmental impacts of the GDMHID, which is Great Dams and Mega Hydraulic Infrastructure Development Projects, based on the IWRM principles. Another point to look at also is learning from experience. Nduhura and other scholars in African Journal of Governance and Development, Volume 11, Issue 1.2, November 2002, page 384, revealed learning from experience lays a foundation to build new interventions in times of crisis, shifting focus from resilience by design to resilience by adaptation. The study showed that networks stakeholders such as private and social sector are important. That is our presentation from Group 4 in regards to this coursework. Thank you so much.